Hello and welcome to this 12-minute flow. So we're going to start lying face down in downward facing Shavasana. So you might want to just move your arms around to find a comfortable space. You might want to turn the head to one side, or you might want to just rest the forehead down. Just have a little play and see what feels good. And then just slowly start to breathe into the belly. Feel the belly pressing into the ground. Inhales pressing in. Exhales, softening. And then maybe you'd like to take a fallen tree. So I'm taking my left knee out to the side, a kind of tree shape. And then if this doesn't feel nice, you can go back to your downward facing Shavasana, or perhaps try a half frog where you bring the knee up to hip height, the ankle just above, underneath the knee joint. And then maybe you'd like to take this into a frog meets Sphinx, where you just come up onto the forearms, add a little back bend. Remember, these are all progressive, so you can stay where you are or experiment with these extra moves. And then we'll return to downward facing Shavasana for a few breaths. Maybe noticing how one side feels. And then perhaps we'll stay with downward facing Shavasana, simply breathing. Or we might try the other side. So if you turn the head to one side on the other round, turn it to the opposite side. And then come to that fallen tree, taking one knee out to the side. Or if you prefer, stick with the downward facing Shavasana. And just remember to breathe nice and full and deep. Perhaps you'd like to move this into a half frog, bringing that knee level with the hip, the ankle underneath the knee. And then maybe you'd stay there, or perhaps add a frog meets Sphinx and press into the forearms. Just press that lower belly, the pelvis into the ground for a Sphinx meets frog. And then lower down. Come back to downward facing Shavasana, a few breaths. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose or the mouth. And then from here, we're going to come up to all fours, nice and slowly. Tuck the toes, give our feet a stretch in a child's pose. And remembering you can always keep the hips high if that feels nicer. Take the knees wider apart. And then we're going to come to all fours, table pose for a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, let the belly soften, gaze up. Exhale, chin to chest, round in the back. You don't have to go to your full range of movements, just super slow, nice and easy. And then you can stay with this one if it feels good, or we could move into a downward dog by tucking the toes, pressing into the hands, lift the knees, keep the knees bent and the sitting bones behind you. Let the belly soften towards the thighs. Nice, easy downward dog. And then maybe you'd like to walk out the dog, bending one knee and the other. And then we'll walk the feet towards the hands, nice and slowly. And we'll take a dangle pose. So the arms could dangle down, or you could hold onto the forearms. And you can stay with this one for a few breaths. Or if you'd like to, you could come to standing, tucking the chin into the chest, rolling slowly up, turning the palms forward. And now a little squat pose flow. So taking the feet nice and wide, turning the toes and knees out to the side. Inhale, bring the palms together. Sink the weight back in the heels and just lower palms, reaching out, fingertips. And choose a position you might feel better higher, you might feel better lower, hands at the heart. I quite like this one, making a pistol grip. So index fingers together and just making a little fist with the hands. And this is just a way to transition down to sit. And we're going to meet here for butterfly pose. So soles of the feet together, legs in a diamond shape. And as you inhale, lift the heart. As you exhale, fold forward just as far as you comfortably can. And if this doesn't feel right for you, you could take the hands behind the back, lean back for a tiny back bend, or just sit up nice and straight. And if you're folding forward, inhale to come up, and then we'll find our way onto our backs, bringing the knees into the chest. A little roll of the knees to massage that low back, so moving in both directions. And now we're going to come into a cradle pose. So just simply Bringing the knees into the chest, holding on the calves, the thighs, the shins, whatever feels comfortable. Tucking that chin in, just feeling that nice length in the spine, the support beneath you. And breathing full and deep. Maybe you like to stay there, or a half happy baby, taking one leg out to the side, sole of the foot towards the ceiling, and then swapping sides. So just one at a time, holding on wherever's comfortable. Nice release for the sacrum. And perhaps you'd like to repeat that on both sides. Or take a full happy baby by bringing the knees to the outsides of the ribs. And then just letting the soles of the feet face the ceiling, holding on wherever's comfortable. And then we're going to go into a nice side twist. So taking the arms out into a T position, let the knees roll over to one side. You might have a cushion you'd like to put underneath the knees. You can gaze to the ceiling or the opposite side to the knees, or the same direction as the knees. Just keep the breath full and deep. And just feel yourself letting go. And as you inhale, roll the knees to center. And as you exhale, just twisting to the other side. Again, you don't have to twist so the knees touch. You could put some blankets or cushions under the knees. And then just take yourself out to a nice full body stretch. We'll take a banana asana now. So just sliding the feet over to the right side and shuffle that right shoulder down towards the right hip. So you've got a nice long line in that left side for a few deep breaths. And then we'll just move over to the other side. Doesn't really matter which way you go first, just as long as we get a nice lateral stretch. Final movements in our bodies that we'll need for a full all over body stretch. And now we're ready to rest. So draw the knees into the chest, and you can take the hands under the low back and just simply let the knees fall towards the chest, or let the legs dangle in the air. Or if you've got a handy wall, you could just come into legs up the wall pose. So just finding a position for the hands, tucking the chin in, nice soft knees, and let go. Let go of any effort in your breath now. Feel that support beneath you. And if you don't really like this legs up the wall pose, you can always take a classic Shavasana. You could take that downward facing Shavasana that we began with. You could sit, just so you've got a little bit of quiet time to make that transition back from your yoga flow to our busy lives. So let's just enjoy the sense of peace. With your mind's eye, watch your in-breath. With your mind's eye, watch your out-breath. And then notice the sensations in your body as you breathe in. Sensations of your body as you breathe out. And now maybe just starting to be aware of any thoughts that are around. We don't want to push them away. Sometimes they just need a little attention. But try and see if you can just observe and let them go as easy as you let those breaths flow in and out. And if this becomes challenging, just come back to noticing the in-breath, noticing the out-breath. And now let's find the magic of stillness. Just breathe in, pause, breathe out, pause. Focus your attention now on those pauses between in-breath and out-breath, and out-breath and in-breath. And perhaps now, just beginning to notice any sounds that you can hear outside the room. The distant sounds. Sounds maybe a little closer. The obvious sounds, the more subtle sounds. Becoming aware now of the sounds inside the room. Becoming aware of the sound of your breath. Noticing your in-breath. Noticing your out-breath. Then ever so slowly, wherever you are, just roll over to one side, make a pillow with your hands. And then eventually, very slow, small movements, bring yourself back to a comfortable seated position. And then as you next breathe in, float your arms out over the head, palms together. As you exhale, rest the hands in the center of your heart. And just taking a moment to thank yourself for finding 12 minutes in your busy day. You won't regret it. And thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Bye.